Yeah.
Believe it. Welcome back, everybody. This is Loaded Slate Sports Pod.
Yes, sir.
Ashton, Jack, we're here.
Yeah, we're back. We're back.
Ready to talk about bowl season and some NFL stuff that's happening
For sure.
in the news this week.
For sure. We're gonna start the show. It's Tuesday right now, the 3rd of January. So we want to address what happened last night in the Bills-Bengals game. Really some real scary stuff that you really don't see all too often kind of happen, transpired, really unfortunate things. I forget, what was the guy's name again?
Yeah, Damar Hamlin.
From Pitt. He went into cardiac arrest on the field and had to be, ambulance had to come on the field and everything. It was truly a very scary scene,
Yeah, I mean, the game was shut down for an hour before they officially, postponed it and made, they're going to have to replay it at some point. But
yeah, and that's the right move by the NFL, postponing the game for something that serious.
Like, this dude could have died on the field. Yeah. And it was just such a... like a routine hit that, you probably wouldn't bat an eye at if this obviously weren't to transpire. But, dude got some blunt force trauma straight to the chest. It happened to be at the right time when his heart was beating, and then, it restricted the blood flow from his heart to his brain. So, and, he went into cardiac arrest, which is, very, very scary.
Very serious, too.
Yeah, extremely serious. I mean, the dude's still, breathing through a ventilator or whatever it is. So, yeah, he's in critical condition as of right now, too. And this is a very young man. And the NFL is really going to have to look at their safety regulations and all that stuff in this offseason. Obviously, we've had, guys like Tua Tagovailoa have 3 concussions this season alone. Yeah. So something's clearly got to give with, with player safety and all that stuff in the NFL offseason.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about player safety at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't the 90s, the 80s when, the league didn't really know about concussions. There was no concussion protocol. You just simply the word for it back in the day was you got your bell rung, stuff like that. Yeah. And today there's a lot. It's a brain injury.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think the league's going to look at every possible scenario to make the game safer for the players that are playing the game, because these are just young men at the end of the day.
Yeah, this guy I think he's 23, 24 years old. So obviously very young man. This shouldn't be happening. To him at this stage in his life, or at any stage. Obviously, this is something that's very, very screwed up. So, our prayers and thoughts go out to him and his family. Hopefully, he makes a speedy recovery, and hopefully can play the game.
Yeah.
To continue to play the game.
Yeah, for sure. And then they postponed the game. We're not real sure when they're going to resume playing that game, but I mean, I don't know. It's a huge game though for playoff implications.
Oh yeah, massive. It's probably the
playoff
biggest.
Seeding.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest and best matchup of all the Monday Night Football games this season. So to see that get cut short is very unfortunate, but it's obviously for a good reason.
It's for good reason.
Yeah, we're not going to sit here and piss and moan about that, because obviously this guy's safety is above the rest. Yeah, above all else. But yeah, we just wanted to touch base on that real quick. We'll get into the NFL maybe later on in this episode, maybe later on this week. As the season or as the week goes on, we have some big topics to talk about when it comes to NFL. But I feel like the main focus of this episode is going to be, bowl season and, the playoff in college football. So if you want to take it away, what do you think here?
This brings me no pleasure in, talking about what we're going to talk about next. I think we got to talk about, we'll start with the playoff for sure, because that's really what everyone is here for. That's what everyone is watching. What everyone's been waiting for. Truthfully, the whole season they've been waiting for this moment. And the playoff did not disappoint. As a football fan, it was great football. Both games, they were down to the wire. Action-packed, high-scoring affairs. And I mean, it lived up to the billing, no doubt. And I think we got to start with the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah.
Down in Phoenix, man. TCU 51, Michigan 45. We were talking on the last show. Why do we play these games? These college football games. They look so nice and neat on paper. But, TCU 51, Michigan 45 is an example of why we play the game. Here, I want to give you the floor first. What were your overall impressions on this game? Because, if I start talking about this, I'm not going to stop. I just want to give you the floor here, I guess.
Yeah. So first things first, I have a lot of thoughts on this game as well. Obviously, we were, we watched this game together and kind of, went through the trials and tribulations kind of as a unit. But first and foremost, hats goes off to TCU. They played a hell of a game. They did everything they needed to do to get this win.
They had a hell of a game plan going into this game.
everything that we are about to say, from, fan perspective, obviously we're from the great state of Michigan. We have been indoctrinated in Michigan football our entire lives.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we're going to say about that, I just want that to be taken with a grain of salt and given respect to, the opponent. Obviously, TCU, hell of a team. They're going to go into the national championship and have something to prove as they did in this game. But for me to sit here and act like this Michigan team did not lose to themselves, that they did not beat themselves up all day, the entire game, it just wouldn't be right for me to say that they didn't, because they made so many crucial mistakes at so many critical junctures. Extremely uncharacteristic of this team, the stuff that went on this past, it was Saturday, right? Yeah, I believe.
I don't know.
I've kind of blocked it out of my memory because this was so hard to watch from a fan perspective. But from a football fan perspective, as you mentioned, this was one of the greater, college football playoff games.
Spectacle, really.
Yeah, that third quarter was incredible.
The whole second half, really.
Yeah,
it was
really
just
the entire second half.
It wasn't a ton of defense being played, but it was just back and forth. You know, one team, punches the other team in the mouth, the other team responds. Next, other team responds. It's just back and forth.
If you would have told me at halftime that Michigan would have put themselves, within 3 points in the second half with a chance to take the lead and, really win this game, and I would have thought you were, smoking. But they were down 3, had 3rd and 7, and gave up a 76-yard broken play touchdown. That right there was the moment I knew this game was over.
Yeah, DJ Turner missed a tackle. And it would have forced a punt. Michigan would have got the ball back, all the momentum on their side.
I mean, that's just the first of many things.
Yeah.
I mean, we got J.J. McCarthy threw 2 pick sixes in this game. Without those 2 pick sixes, this is an entirely different game. If they were able to get it done within the 5-yard line, and even in the red zone, nonetheless, they would have had an extremely better chance to win this game, even though they had it really close at the end of the game. I think it's quite miraculous, to be honest, that this game was as close as it was. I mean, it was ugly in the first half. They laid an egg, and that's really the underlying theme of everything I have to say is that they laid a damn egg.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree. This coaching staff did not have this team prepared whatsoever, and this is a common trend under Coach Harbaugh. He's 1-6 now in bowl games. It's flat out unacceptable.
6 straight bowl losses.
Yeah, 6 straight bowl losses. And I mean, this isn't a Jim Harbaugh problem. I mean, Bosham Beckler was the same way. He didn't win a ton of bowl games as it is. But at the end of the day, this is a semifinal game where you are favored by 7.5 points, and you flat out did not show up whatsoever. I wrote some shit down that I wanted to just,
Yeah, I'm fairly certain.
I wanted to talk about.
Bosham Beckler was 8-23 in bowl games.
Yeah, for sure.
Like so it's a common theme for Michigan football, and it's something that the ship needs to be wrote because it's just
As you can imagine, us watching this was pretty jarring to watch. Being Michigan fans, I mean, this defense has not given up. Hasn't given up 50 points since 2020, I think it was. Since 2019 against Ohio State, Justin Fields and those guys. And, I mean, the defensive effort was the letdowns. It was just it was unbelievable, really. It was jarring, to say the least.
It just seems like under Jim Harbaugh's tenure at Michigan, in these past 8, 7, however many years it's been, that in the biggest games, when the lights are brightest, the defense is always the one that comes up short. They've given up 50 points. How many? 40, like high 40s, 50 points. How many times to Ohio State?
Listen,
they've given up 50 points in some of their most important, just critical games when the lights are brightest under Jim Harbaugh. It's just something's got to give. The defense is a lead all year, quote unquote. It's the way it's been every season under Jim Harbaugh for the most part. Defense is, just dominating, stifling defense. Coming into the last game or the most important game on the schedule, they get exposed every damn time.
No,
and this team is no exception. Yeah. And we thought this team was different. We thought this team was going to go in and march into Los Angeles and give the Dogs everything they have. This team couldn't even hold the TCU Horned Frogs to under 50 points.
Yeah, no,
it's unacceptable
for sure. I mean, the coaching staff cost themselves this game. It was offense in the first half, defense in the second half. I mean, Michigan, they were unprepared. They were uncomfortable being behind, as you can tell with the pick sixes, and they outthought themselves the entire game, something they haven't done all season. I mean, there were multiple procedural penalties, false starts, bad snaps. And, I mean, we talked about the pick sixes by McCarthy, trying to force passes he usually wouldn't throw in a game where they're leading, where they're relying on that run game to, wear the other team down. And I mean, and the defense in the second half, the blitzing off the edge by Jesse Minter and company, they were trying to make that big play, that force that turnover, get that big sack to, try to turn the momentum in this game. And they really did not need to do that at all.
I'm curious if you can look at the stat sheet and tell me if they recorded a single sack. in this game.
They did. Makari Page was the only player to have a second.
Okay.
So I mean, we talked about the blitzing off the edge. He was one of the guys that actually was able to get home. But
regardless,
no defensive ends recorded any sacks. Mozzie didn't record a sack. Nothing.
Mozzie actually just completely stopped in his tracks when he had Max Duggan about 2 feet away from him.
Yeah, and I mean, at various points on Saturday, it looked like Don Brown circa 2020 out there. The blitzing was ridiculous. It was completely unnecessary. And I mean, the play calling in the first half by the offensive staff was garbage. With the Ann Arbor special on the first drive of the game after marching it down to the 2-yard line.
They just got too cute. I mean, Donovan Edwards took the opening play 55 yards down the field.
I mean, you got the ball at the 2-yard line, and you have the Joe Moore award-winning offensive line, and you don't run the ball up the middle one time with Donovan Edwards. And
then when you are on the goal line and try to run the ball up the middle, you fumble.
No, and I mean that was a terrible play call. Why are you running a fullback dive? They haven't ran a fullback dive all season with Mullings lining up as the fullback. It's unnecessary.
Right.
Give it to Donovan Edwards or run a quarterback sneak in that situation. You're on the half-yard line. Get it in the end zone. Don't get cute.
Something I didn't really notice in this game is when they got in the end zone, with goal-to-go situations, I don't think I saw Donovan Edwards on the field at all.
No, yeah.
And this is not to say that he's the best playmaker on the team, but he's currently the best playmaker on the team now because of Blake Corum being out. Why is your best player not in the position to get the ball
I don't know.
on a goal-to-go situation? Makes no sense at all. Coaching is entirely to blame for this loss.
Oh, yeah. And I think the program as a whole needs to take a step back and evaluate and do a complete reevaluation of themselves, because they need to make sure every single aspect of their program is running at a championship level. That's offense, defense, special teams, linebackers making plays, kickers making kicks, and the red zone, the guys in the red zone getting it done. And this team this entire season has had trouble getting it done in the red zone. And this Saturday was no different. I mean, TCU was the only team that was able to take advantage of it. And it's just there's not much more you can say.
We knew going into the game, I mean, the 2 Moody field goals in the first half were like, Jake Moody's not going to win you this damn game. He'll beat Michigan State. He'll beat, an Illinois. He's not going to beat a TCU team that is,
with a Heisman off. Yeah, with a Heisman candidate at quarterback. And, of potential first-round pick wide receiver Quentin Johnson.
Exactly.
And, their running game was incredible this Saturday. Helped lead them to a win. The defensive effort was horrendous. The offense was horrendous. It was awful. The entire game plan was terrible. And I think the coaches need to do some reevaluations of themselves this offseason, because you laid an egg in the game that you were supposed to win in order to win the national championship. And let's be honest, they blew a chance at a national championship here. They might never get a chance as good as this one to win an Natty. How many times are you going to be favored by 8 points in a semifinal game?
Yeah.
Not that often.
Very rare.
You blew a chance here. You blew a chance.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about blowing chances. It might be, one of this team's only chances, depending on, the state of college football next season.
Yeah.
We're not gonna sit here and act like this has been a super top heavy, a bunch of gladiators fighting at the top of the college football
this season
world. It's been kind of wide open.
Exactly. There's no Joe Burrow at LSU. There's no Trevor
Alabama.
Lawrence. There's no Deshaun Watson. There's not a ton of great teams. And I mean, looking toward to next season a little bit early, it doesn't look like there's going to be a ton of great teams again next season. I mean, there's going to be Caleb Williams out there, but there's not going to be a ton of great elite quarterbacks out there.
I mean, I don't know, man. We can talk about next year all we want. But this game was, astounding.
You had it there for the taking, and you just couldn't get out of your own way at the end of the day. And you were unprepared. Your coaching staff is entirely to blame, and there's no excuses to make. You can't blame the refs.
Yeah,
I mean, the
I was about
refs
to
weren't
mention.
great, but you can't blame the refs in this situation. I don't want to hear anything about it.
I was about to mention it was going to be irresponsible for us if we even mention the refs. We don't want to stoop to that level.
We don't want to because we know that this team blew an opportunity here, and they're entirely to blame. They got to take a hard look in the mirror at themselves, and they got to look at this film here, and they got to realize, man, we fucked up. We fucked up big time because, I mean, they blew an opportunity here. And I think they know that. We know that. Everybody knows that. I mean, but this is just...
I mean, it's really embarrassing, to be honest. If you're those players, you got to feel for them. I mean, you have to feel for those players at the end of the day because they have done everything right all year.
Yeah.
And, to lay an egg like this and just, end the season on a dud is just so tough.
It is. It's very tough. And, I mean, it's completely, it's shocking.
It's to say the least, it's shocking. If we were not expecting this at all.
Yeah, but anyway,
at all.
I hope Matt Weiss is fired. I hope Michigan. I hope there's changes made at the offensive coordinator spot because this dual co-offensive coordinator thing it has not worked. Your passing game is terrible this year. You were supposed to have one of the most underrated wide receiver rooms in the country, with Ronnie Bell coming back from an injury, and it's been a dud completely all season. With the talent they have at quarterback, it's they're wasting his talents at QB. And I think you needed that passing game. You needed those extra reps in a game like this where you got to play catch up, where you're not leading from wire to wire. They didn't lead for a second of this game.
Yeah.
And the pick sixes were a result of that.
That's a good point. They're going to be more poised in a position to throw the ball the more and more they do it all season. Mm-hmm. This team was just so heavily reliant on Blake Corum, and they were prepared to take this team as far as Blake Corum could run them. And unfortunately, he got injured, and kind of became Donovan Edwards' show. So I don't know.
Don's that guy, though.
Don
don't
is
get
that
me
guy.
wrong.
I'm
he's
not
that guy.
Yeah, I won't sit here and try to discredit Donovan Edwards because he's a stud, but we didn't really have that much of a chance to see him shine in this game because they were playing catch up.
They were,
and they got to throw the ball in that situation. So I completely agree. I think that they should look for a true offensive coordinator, a guy that is not going to share a role with somebody, a guy that is with the times, a modern era type of offensive coordinator, guy that likes to pass the ball. Bring him in, pay him whatever you need to pay him.
Yeah, because that's the way college football is going. I don't know if this philosophy that Jim is implementing is going to win you a natty in this day and age.
Yeah,
I don't know, but
it's got him damn close twice.
It's got him close, but they've the same stopping point each year, and
it's unacceptable. We can't lose in the semifinal every goddamn year. You want to get to the national championship.
You want to break through the glass ceiling.
Exactly.
You want to get it done. You want to win a bowl game, for God's sakes.
This might be somewhat irrelevant, but I was thinking about this just as the week's gone on past this game that Michigan basketball, man. We're going to talk about how much of a disaster that's been eventually too this season, but when they had two shots at the Final Four, they won both Final Four games, went to the national championship, and mind you, fell short in both of those. But they got to take a page out of John Beilein's book. You know what I mean? Like the dude, took them to the Final Four, won those games. Why is it so damn hard for Jim Harbaugh to do that? You know what I mean?
I do. It's an apples to bowling balls comparison.
Yeah,
the Final Fours and
it's true, but
college basketball, college football. They're different, but this is disgusting right here. You can't lose as an 8-point favorite. The same thing goes.
Right.
This is the game you got to win. This is the game you need to win. You're playing a Big 12 team.
Yeah.
And they punched you in the mouth. They were the tougher team. Michigan got punked on both lines of scrimmage, and they were the more physical team. When Michigan has been the more physical team all season. They've been out physicaling people all season, and they got completely punked in this game.
Yeah, and you mentioned, obviously uncharacteristic penalties and stuff. They've been the more disciplined team all year too, and that did not show.
No, multiple turnovers, penalties. It was. I don't know what team this. I don't know where the team that I was watching this whole 13 weeks. I don't know where it went, but this was not that team.
It's kind of the same thing we said last year. So when they got punked by Georgia, but
Georgia was that good, but
that's excusable because that Georgia team was just generational.
Yeah, this is disgusting though. Mm-hmm. This is absolutely disgusting. But I want to give hats off to TCU, Sonny Dykes, Garrett Riley, and their staff. Put together an excellent game plan. Executed it to perfection. The defense did just enough, forcing the turnovers, and they get the job done. They're going to be playing Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
very impressive.
Yeah.
Got to give them their flowers because that was an impressive performance, and it needs to be recognized. So
yeah, let's talk about another impressive performance. Stetson Bennett.
Oh yeah.
He leads the Bulldogs back from being down 2 scores against Ohio State late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
If I can find this game, there it is. Yeah, Stetson Bennett, 400 yards passing. He is, I think, one of only 2 quarterbacks ever to lead their teams to back-to-back national championships, I think it is. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. What stat was I seeing? It was like elite company, though. Elite quarterback company.
Yeah, I mean, he's just delivered every time he's needed to deliver. He's literally the mailman. He's always delivering, man. I mean, he's that guy, dude.
He is.
He's just that guy.
He is. Yeah, and I mean,
yeah.
Georgia, they were down 38-24 at the start of the fourth quarter. I mean, they just outscored them 18-3 in the fourth, and
yeah.
They really stormed back and took this game from Ohio State. And Ohio State, they did a heck of a job. Ryan Day and his staff, they put up a heck of a response after getting shellacked by U of M a couple weeks ago. They played a great game, but I mean, not having Travion, that's tough. And I mean, some of the play calls down the stretch by Ryan Day kind of cost them this game.
Yeah.
And Noah Ruggles, he missed the game-winning field goal.
Yeah. I mean,
as the clock was hitting midnight too.
But as you mentioned, you got to give Ryan Day and his guys some respect.
And flowers, yeah, for sure.
Because this was absolutely not the performance that we were expecting. Well, I don't know. I was expecting that they were either going to win this game or they were going to get blown out.
Yeah,
There's no in between.
CJ Stroud, great day.
Yes,
I mean, he probably had the game of his career on the ground too. Like, we saw him making plays with his legs. We haven't seen that at all from him in his career at Ohio State. He was getting it done, and I mean, he got it done through the air too, through on the ground. I mean,
that's kind of always been a knock on CJ Stroud, is that he seems mobile, but he's never really shown it. He's never really given us flashes of what he can do with his feet. But he definitely performed in this game and really just showed his complete package and what he can do. And maybe it was a little bit of a audition for the league in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is a kid that will be successful on Sundays, and although he's an Ohio State guy, and there's not much love lost between my team and his, I wish him the best of luck. Unfortunately, they couldn't get to the national championship, and Georgia's just a different animal, man. I mean,
and I just wanted to throw out, if Ohio State would have beaten Georgia, I would have been so sick to my stomach as a Michigan fan, because I mean, I don't really got to talk much about it. You should understand why, but.
Yeah. I mean, to absolutely, embarrass them on their home turf and then have them come and beat the defending champions and go to the championship when you're not in it. Obviously, all the viewers can imagine how sickening that would have been, but thankfully Noah Ruggles missed the field goal as the clock struck midnight. A year, ringing in the new year right.
Yeah.
So, Georgia, TCU, national championship.
Yeah, and Georgia, or TCU, I should say, they have a chance to, do something that would be historic, remarkable, just impressive. I mean, everyone's been counting them out all season, going back to that Texas game, really, earlier in the season. And, I mean, they just keep winning games. They keep doing it. They keep finding ways. And if they can pull this one off, man, it'd be incredible.
I just want to, put it out there that we have been giving them the respect. We've been giving this team a lot of respect on this pod, and it's kind of nice to see, although they had to play Michigan.
Yeah, and I mean, their players are, never mind. I'll cut this out, but respect goes to TCU.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
National championship, dogs and frogs.
Yeah, who would have thought, man? The frogs and the dogs.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It is.
I mean, there's been some other good bowl games, too, just, outside of the playoff as well. We've had the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, the Rose Bowl got done last night. We didn't talk about that real quick. Cam Rising goes down again, and Penn State takes care of business. The only Big Ten team to show up during bowl season, it appears. Penn State got it done 35-21. Sean Clifford, he got sent out properly. I mean, this guy's been at Penn State for like 6 years, and he gets to cap off his career with a Rose Bowl win for Penn State, and that's something, I think this is like their 3rd Rose Bowl win in program history or something like that.
It's impressive.
And that's impressive for them, and really, they're going to build upon this. I have no doubt that they're going to be a very scary team next season with the backfield that they're returning and Drew Aller coming in at quarterback.
Yeah. They're going to be a tough team.
They're going to be a tough team to beat.
Yeah, most definitely. This is a very impressive win. I mean, this Utah team wanted this Rose Bowl more than any, in recent history. So it's just an impressive win, as we mentioned. We predicted Penn State was going to win this game. That backfield is just full of young talent.
Yeah,
And,
Nick Singleton,
Nick Singleton.
7 carries, 120 yards.
Yeah, that's I hear that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you mentioned the talent that they're returning next season. It's going to be a scary sight to see in that Big Ten East. So it's going to be a rat race as it always is.
Yeah, Penn State finished the season 11-2. That's not too bad. Only 2 losses to Michigan and Ohio State, of course.
Best 2 teams on their schedule.
And Utah, I mean, win the Pac-12, you go to the Rose Bowl, finish the season 10-4. I mean,
they won the Pac-12.
Yeah, they won the Pac. A decent season, but I mean, obviously they had bigger expectations with Cam Rising returning. But
yeah,
who knows? Maybe with this injury he'll come back for another season. But we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, it's altogether possible. I still put it down as a successful season for the Utes.
Yeah, it is. It always is. When you win your conference, it's always a successful season.
We'll mention where is it at? The Sugar Bowl, Alabama. Bryce Young, he sent his career at Alabama out with a bang. Absolutely stellar performance against the Kansas State Wildcats. Let me look at this real quick. Go up to his stat line. Yeah, he was 15 for 21 with 321 yards and 5 touchdowns. I'm pretty sure 4 of them came in the first half. That's just stellar performance for Bryce Young. Mm-hmm. He capped off what was an incredible college career and is likely to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Most likely, or if it's not him, it's
going to be Will Anderson.
It's his teammate Will Anderson.
Exactly, the best defensive prospect in this year's draft. So, it's you like to see it at the end of the day, but unfortunately, this Bama team probably wish they could have showcased their abilities in the playoff, but they had to settle for the Sugar Bowl. Nonetheless, they absolutely steamroll Kansas State 45-20. Do you have any takeaways from this? Just
not a ton. I mean, I thought it was an impressive win for Alabama, but I mean, it's a little too late, but it's a good win for them. I mean, they cap off their season with a nice Sugar Bowl win. It's not the bowl that they probably envisioned at the beginning of the season, but it is what it is. And Bryce Young, I know Jahmyr Gibbs has declared for the draft as well, and Will Anderson, he's going to be gone too. So I think Alabama's going to look a lot different next season, but we'll see what happens there. A long off season to figure out what all these teams are going to look like next season. Yeah. But they're definitely going to be a lot different.
Yeah, most definitely. Milroe will most likely be at quarterback unless pending changes. But
I doubt he'll be the starter.
Who's going to start?
We'll see. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't think it'll be Milroe.
That's the thing. You just never know with these Nick Saban teams, man.
It could be Milroe, but I don't know.
I mean, that remains to be seen. We'll see that, obviously week 1 of the 2023 season.
Yeah.
This is so sad, dude. I'm kind of just taking a moment to really reflect on this season.
Season's over. It's crazy.
The season was incredible.
It was. This was awesome. Another awesome season.
Yeah. Last season was awesome as well. So, I mean, we're really excited to, give you all the off-season news.
Yeah, and I think we should talk about the Orange Bowl too. This was a couple days ago. This was on the 30th. I mean, Orange versus Orange here, Tennessee, Clemson. Joe Milton, the Michigan prodigy, led his team to victory here against the Clemson Tigers with Cade Klubnik at quarterback. I mean,
did you see the stat that this is Cade Klubnik's first loss as a starter since middle school Pop Warner?
Yeah,
that's insane.
It is, and I mean, Joe Milton, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I mean, he was looking like a stud out there. And I mean, this is a guy that could be the starter for Tennessee next season, barring, a transfer coming in. And I mean, this is good, big for him, big for Tennessee, obviously without their leading receivers with Jalen Hyatt and, I forget the other guys. I think Cedric Tillman's the guy's name too,
and obviously they're starting quarterback.
Yeah, and there was no Hendon Hooker; he was injured too. But I mean, this is a huge win for Tennessee, just as a program. Finished the season 11-2, Orange Bowl champs, beating Clemson, fully healthy Clemson. Huge win.
It's crazy. We were not expecting Clemson to throw this kind of performance out there.
Yeah, I was expecting Clemson to just kind
dog these guys,
blow them out. That's what my opinion.
That's what we were saying, that Clemson was going to come in there and just make light work of this depleted Tennessee team. But we saw the exact opposite. We saw Clemson struggle mightily.
They missed a ton of field goals.
Like 3 straight possessions, they missed field goals.
They missed
like that.
3 straight field goals, and I mean,
insane.
It's insane, and they got a good kicker too. BT Potter, he's a terrific kicker, and I don't know. Tennessee finds a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
And Joe Milton looked like Superman.
Yeah, Joe Milton surprisingly looked like Superman, which is And so they end the season 11-2, Sugar Bowl or Orange Bowl champs. Lot to build upon for next season. Josh Heupel and his.
I'm excited for the future of Vol football for sure. Got some good recruits coming in too.
I bet. All right, talk about the Cotton Bowl, guys.
Yeah, Cotton Bowl, another one of the games we got incorrect here. USC falls to the Tulane Green Wave by a point, 46-45.
You want to hear a crazy stat in this game? USC did not punt in this game, and they lost. They did not punt.
That's insane.
And they lost.
That's insane.
But listen, USC was leading this thing for the majority of the way. They were up 45-30 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Listen to this. Tulane scores a touchdown, then they get the safety on the next play, giving them the ball back, and they score with 9 seconds left in the game to go up 46-45. This is just an epic collapse by SC and Lincoln Riley. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I mean, you're playing the Green Wave.
Yeah, this is a team that was dealt a favorable draw after choking their way out of the 4th spot of the playoff. They quite literally choked their way out. And, obviously get the consolation prize of playing Tulane, and they go and lose in the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, and USC, man, their defense is awful.
And this team has the Heisman winner on their damn roster.
God awful. I mean, they gave up 205 yards rushing to Spears here. My guy Spears, man. Ty Spears, 305 yards rushing, man. They gave up 305 yards rushing to Tulane.
That's insane.
That's ridiculous, man. And they give 234 yards passing, too. I mean...
Hey, respect to Tulane, though. Got to give those mid-majors some love.
12-2,
12-2,
the Green Wave. And, if Jim Harbaugh truly is out the door, I'd look for Mr. Willie Fritz here in Tulane. If he wants to come to Ann Arbor, man, I'd hope Ward would at least give him a phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Willie Fritz, 12-2 for the Green Wave. That's a great season for them.
Yes,
they went from 2-10 to 12-2, incredible turnaround. Yeah, and let's also talk here about LSU, man.
Oh yeah,
LSU 63, man. The Boilermakers 7. There's not really much to say about this game. I mean, there's no Jeff Brom on the sideline. There's no Aiden O'Connell at quarterback for Purdue. It's just kind of a crapshoot. And I mean, you're getting dealt a very good team here in LSU. I mean, SEC West champions, but Purdue. Big Ten West champions, though. Yeah. So, I mean, it's West champions
West versus West.
But, I mean, Purdue, they're punching above their weight class right now here.
Yeah. I thought this was a little bit of an interesting matchup when it was set for the Citrus Bowl, but, I mean, it's just the SEC versus the Big Ten at the end of the day.
It is.
Really don't have much else to say about it.
It is.
I mean, the best team in the SEC West just absolutely steamrolls the best team in the little 10 West.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it just we saw the display.
It is
SEC speed versus
Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Big Ten speed. I'm not even going to say speed because it's not speed.
Exactly.
It's just Big Ten.
It's just Big Ten. Whatever. I mean, Purdue had no shot in this game from the start.
No. But Brian Kelly, man, 10-4 in his first season at LSU. They went to the SEC championship game too, beat Alabama. This is a great first season for Brian Kelly. He's gonna do amazing things at LSU, no doubt.
Hell of a job for Brian Kelly, and this is a dude that was being heavily criticized.
Criticized for stupid things like his accent.
Right.
Dude, I mean, I don't
really
care.
Proved it on the field.
I don't care if you can coach football. I don't care what your accent is. You're gonna win games. No one gives a shit what your accent is.
And that's exactly what Brian Kelly is proving.
It is.
Love to see it. Hopefully LSU, hopefully LSU has good things to come for sure. Next season will be nice to watch. Jay Daniels will be back, so I think he announced today actually that he's coming back.
Yeah, he did. He is coming back next season.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Washington Huskies, Pac-12.
I love the Huskies, man.
I love the Huskies as well.
And I love Michael Penix as a quarterback. This guy's a gunslinger. We've seen this guy just absolute throw piss missiles when he was at Indiana as a quarterback. He can thread the needle. He can drop dimes. I mean, he can uncork it to the guy 70 yards down the field if he needs to. I mean, 11-2 for Washington in his first season for Kalen DeBoer after that mess that Jimmy Lake left them last season, going 4-8. I mean, incredible turnaround again, winning the Alamo Bowl against Texas.
Yeah.
And I mean, Texas is not back. Bijan Robinson did not play in this game.
Yeah.
But still.
I don't know, man. I think what is it? Sark is going to have a very tough decision to make next season for their quarterback position. We saw Quinn Ewers kind of sleepwalk through half the damn season this year, and
I mean he's a young guy though. Let's not forget he's or a redshirt freshman.
That's
still.
true, but I mean he's going to have another young guy who a lot of people are raving about being a generational talent. Obviously, Arch Manning coming in next season.
I mean
he's going to have some decisions to make. Obviously, being Bijanless, and some talk about Xavier Worthy and his future with the program. So.
Yeah, Xavier Worthy dropped multiple touchdown passes in this game, and I don't know, I mean, obviously that would have helped Quinn Ewers and Texas' behalf on if they would have, been able to capitalize on those big plays, but it's not to be. Washington wins this game, and Texas, the rebuild continues for Sark and his crew down there, and at Texas.
Yeah. I feel like they're a couple pieces away still. I feel like they're a team that could reach their potential, but I don't know. It's just.
But this Washington team, dude, they're going to be very good next season. Michael Penix said he's coming back for like his 10th season.
Jesus.
I don't know how long he was at Indiana for, but it felt like a long time. But I mean, they're going to be a very dangerous team in the Pac-12 next year. Yeah. And I know they play at Michigan State next year. I might have to go to that game just to watch Michael Penix throw for 500 yards because watching him play is just incredible.
He's fascinating to watch. He's a stud.
It is.
Left hand with the rocket.
Oh, yeah.
He's
incredible.
Crazy.
Incredible, man.
Pitt beat UCLA. That was a big one.
Yeah, that was a big one. DTR got injured in that game. But, I mean, Pitt, a huge win for Pat Narduzzi and his crew, though.
For sure.
I mean, a lot to build upon for next season. No Keaton Slovis for them, though, but they found a way.
Yeah, they found a way. They didn't really have the greatest of seasons compared to what they had last year.
I mean,
9-4 Bowl.
9-4 is not too bad, though.
That's
After
true.
winning 11 games the year before, 9-4 is not too bad.
No, I mean, it's not too far off. I mean, for sure. Obviously, no Keaton Slovis as well, as you mentioned. So this was impressive. This was the battle of the cursive logo teams.
Yeah, Pitt wanted revenge for the Peach Bowl loss.
Yes,
from last season, obviously.
Yeah, that was resonating in their heads. Obviously, they were pretty pissed off about the Peach Bowl last year, which was just a clash of the Titans. So, they got their revenge. They're bowl champions, and the Peach Bowl champions were sitting at home watching them.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Notre Dame too. They beat the Gamecocks. I mean, South Carolina, it looked like they were really focused on the offseason Super Bowl here. I mean, they really laid an egg in this game. South Carolina was up multiple scores in the first half, and they just could not hang on. And they were up 24-10 at one point, and they just let this one slip away. I really think, one of the stats that you would have told me at the beginning of the game, I would have been able to tell you what the outcome was. Are these rushing stats here? I mean, 264 rushing yards for Notre Dame. I mean, they were moving the ball on the ground all game. And I mean, South Carolina, they did not have a ton of success themselves. 65 yards rushing. Typically, the team that you see with more rushing yards wins the game, and that was the case here. And I kind of had a feeling of that going through watching the third quarter, and I was like, man, Notre Dame's really getting it done on the ground. And South Carolina, they were having trouble moving the ball here, and I kind of thought maybe Notre Dame would be able to pull this one out in the fourth quarter, and they did just that.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, when you don't even net 100 yards in a bowl game, you're going to have a very hard time winning the game.
No.
But, I mean, that's in spite of Tyler Buckner's 3 interceptions. So.
Hey, but he was back from injury, though. That's big to see for the Irish, who, talks about maybe them picking up Sam Hartman in the transfer portal.
I did see that.
So we'll see what happens there. Big quarterback battle this offseason in South Bend for sure.
We'll check the status of Buckner's future for sure
later.
Once, the portal heats up and see if they land
on a different day.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty much all we hit all the New Year's Six bowls and all the other good matchups. Mississippi State, obviously they won their bowl game.
Yeah, R.I.P. Mike Leach.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
Sure.
Mike Leach.
They got it done for Mike, which you love to see.
Yeah, love to see it, man. Love to see it.
Yep.
Anyway.
And obviously, national championship right there. We've said it, and I don't know if you have any way too early takes on that or.
I have a take. Tickets went way down in price after Michigan lost.
Not surprised.
Yeah, but. Georgia laying 14 points here. Is that a lot of points?
That is a lot of points.
In a natty game, for sure. I think it is too. And I don't know. I think TCU's playing with a lot of momentum right now. A lot of swagger and confidence rolling through that team. I like them to at least cover the spread here.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to win the game. I think Georgia's a different animal. Even to Michigan standards, I think Georgia's just on a different level than all the other teams in the country right now. I like Georgia to win, but TCU's going to play them tough, I think.
No, this is going to be a 4-quarter boxing match. This is going to be a hell of a game. I don't care what Vegas says. It's going to be a goddamn absolute slapper of a game.
It is.
I don't expect 14 points to be laid in this game. This is going to be a 1-possession ball game down to the very end of the game. But like you just said, I feel like Georgia's just going to have the edge. They've been here before. They have the championship pedigree and experience. Stetson Bennett is going to deliver like he always does. And trust me, I wouldn't mind if TCU proves me wrong. I would not mind. I like this team. I feel like they have the the tools and, like you said, the swagger and just the ability to win this game. They truly do. But if I'm betting, man, I'm saying Georgia.
Yeah, I'm picking Georgia too, but
I'm taking TCU to cover the spread.
I'm taking TCU though to cover the spread at least.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a lot of points.
It's going to be a hell of a game.
It is. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited for it. Even though my team will not be there, I'm still excited to watch a national championship game.
Most definitely.
For sure. Next Monday.
It would
7:30.
Be it would obviously be a lot more rewarding if your team was in it, but at the end of the day, the team that beat your team, the team that bested them, it's almost even more exciting to see them play because what they're capable of compared to your team. So.
Yeah, I guess.
it still stings.
I guess. Yeah.
It still stings, but still. Dogs and frogs.
Dogs by 100.
We're gonna switch gears just for a brief little segment here on the NFL. Playoffs are heating up. We're about to get into the final week of the season, and the last playoff spot in the NFC will be decided this weekend. Obviously, Lions, Packers has been flexed to the Sunday night football game with hella playoff implications on the line. But obviously, for the Lions' sake, something else needs to happen earlier on in the day that Sunday.
Seattle
and the Los Angeles Rams.
The Rams.
Baker Mayfield needs to help us out. Baker Mayfield, please, can you deliver this victory to the team that traded a Super Bowl to this Los Angeles Rams franchise? This is the least you could do for this franchise.
Well,
the Lions. This is the least you could do.
They're gonna want to win because they don't want the Lions to get that better draft pick. You know what I'm saying? They gotta win.
They got it. I mean, they have been.
But hey,
they've been hot.
If they lose, I wouldn't be all that mad.
They've been. You wouldn't be that. You wouldn't be mad if the Lions missed the playoffs.
No, you're finishing with above 500 record. I mean, that's improvement.
Yeah, it is. I want to see.
You're still a couple pieces away, but the defense has been playing well. Whoa, did that work?
What?
How? It works. What the fuck? It's been broken for okay.
Obviously, we've seen what this Los Angeles Rams team is capable of with Baker Mayfield. They absolutely blew out the Denver Broncos 51-14. Obviously, the Seahawks team, who is currently at the 7th seed, is not the Denver Broncos. They're not that shitty of a damn team. But they're more than capable of putting points on the board and winning a big time game. They obviously beat the Raiders in epic proportion game there. I think that there's a serious chance that the Lions will march into Lambeau, get the dub, and make the playoffs. Slide into that.
You don't think
seed.
this is working out too well for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers here? I mean, this is typical. The NFL wants to send Aaron Rodgers to the playoffs here with a victory over a team that he has just stuck the dagger in for the last how many seasons now?
For as long as I can remember.
Too many.
But listen,
I feel like this is just setting up to a night game at Lambeau. The tundra is going to be going if it snows too. It's going to be ridiculous, man.
Nothing would be sweeter.
It wouldn't be. Nothing would be sweeter.
Absolutely nothing in this world would be sweeter. It'd make up for the absolute stinker of a performance our fucking college team put on last Saturday.
Nothing will make up for that stinker.
No. If the Lions can go in and end Aaron Rodgers' playoff hopes, go to the damn playoffs with Jared Goff at quarterback. It would just be incredible.
Hey, man.
They don't even got to win in the game.
I want to see it too. I want to see it too, man. I'm hoping to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to sound like too much of a homer, but I feel like there's a very good chance this can happen.
Hey, I do too. It's going to be a 4-quarter game.
Absolutely.
It's going to come down to who can make the final plays at the end of the game that are going to determine a winner here.
Yeah, most definitely.
Lions defense has been playing exceptionally well these last couple of weeks outside of the Carolina game. Yeah. So I really think they're going to make things difficult for Aaron Rodgers here.
Pending a barring a Aaron Rodgers 70-yard Hail Mary to win the game, I think the Lions easily can stack up with this Packers team at Lambeau. This is a Packers team that, just kind of like the Lions, was checked out a couple weeks ago, but they wrote the ship and flipped the script. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Everything's on the line, though. It's going to be a huge game.
They're
huge game.
They're quote unquote running the table, as Aaron Rodgers is saying. They're about to run into a absolute monster. This Detroit offense.
They're going to run into a buzzkill.
Yes,
for sure.
They're about to run into a buzzsaw and get absolutely just
laid on the deck.
That's what I hope. But obviously, some stuff has to happen before.
The chips are going to need to fall. Lions are going to have to scoreboard watch a little bit before the game.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. That the game, the game in Seattle though is really going to determine the Lions' future here.
Well, I can't remember the exact thing. So Lions, obviously, we know their scenario. They need the Rams to beat the Seahawks, and they need to beat the Packers. The Packers just have to beat the Lions, and they're in. But the Seahawks, if they beat the Rams, they still need a Lions win in order to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the Packers are the only team in this Week 18 kind of, fighting for that, 7th spot in the playoffs.
If the Seahawks win, do the Lions just throw the game?
And the Packers would make it?
Yeah.
I don't know why you do that. That's your division rival. If anything, the Lions got to win the game regardless. I don't think they're going to throw a dud just on purpose.
You right.
But we're big Baker Mayfield fans this weekend, and that's pretty much all I got to say is I hope Baker does his thing this weekend.
Yeah, I do too.
Baker and the Rams got to show up.
Baker's going to show up
And play spoiler. I know Baker will show up.
Baker's a dog.
Baker is a dog, and I know that there's nothing more this guy wants than to ruin a team's playoff chances after everything that he's been through.
And he's gonna get it done. And
exactly what he's gonna do.
He's gonna. The Detroit Rams are gonna show out.
Baker Mayfield gonna get it done. Lions gonna march into Lambeau and absolutely rip that playoff spot from Aaron Rodgers' cold dead hands. That's all I'm saying. He's about to go do some ayahuasca in the offseason, get right, come back next year, and Dan Campbell and the boys will be a different monster next year.
Yeah, they are. They're going to be even better next season, I think.
I feel like, Aaron Rodgers' days are numbered.
Yeah, they are. He's getting up there in age.
Exactly. Time to pass the torch to Jared Goff.
It is. It is time.
Absolutely. Do you have any thoughts on this shakeup?
No, it's going to be a hell of a weekend in the NFL, though. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And then a hell of a championship Monday in college. So we got a lot of big-time things to look forward to this upcoming weekend.
It's just sad to see the season's coming to an end. Obviously,
it's
NFL playoffs.
Terrific. The playoffs are going to go hard.
Yeah, they're on the horizon, so that's something to be excited about for you football fans out there.
Yeah, we're going to be delivering you guys the playoff content, no doubt. We got so much to cover coming up toward the end of the NFL season, too.
Yeah, I feel like we should do. We were mentioning doing like a live reaction to some games.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a live reaction to an NFL game. Who knows?
I feel like we should do that once the playoffs heat up. We could do like a wild card game, or a divisional round game, or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a different type of content that you guys would enjoy. So, yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much all we had in store for today's episode. Obviously, jam-packed weekend, and the bowl
loaded slate.
Yeah, it's been an absolutely loaded bowl slate. It's been an absolutely loaded slate in college football. Obviously, bowl season, NFL. We got the playoff picture heating up there. So, you guys have had a loaded slate of football, and now we're about to get into basketball very soon.
Unfortunately, we are.
Very unfortunately, we're going to have shit to talk about other than just off-season NFL or off-season football stuff. So
we will. We'll cover some off-season football, but we're going to touch the basketball more, too. College and NBA.
For the foreseeable future, once this season's over, it's going to be college hoops and NBA. As well as, off-season, transfer portal, college football stuff, and, free agency.
Free agency, trade deadline, all that shit,
NBA will start heating up soon, too, which is nice come summertime, so.
Yeah, summertime.
Yeah, summertime, we're going to have some banger NBA content for you guys. We're just as big of NBA fans as we are football, so, expect the best.
All right.
All right, boys. Peace out.
We'll see y'all later.